I had been practicing yoga for years, and I did it for reasons of physical injury. I had no idea that there was something else to it. Mindfulness and body awareness, bringing the mind back to the body. My name is Denyi Canario. I am a comeback yoga trauma-informed teacher. I am originally from the Dominican Republic. I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic and migrated to the United States when I was 14. I am married. My husband is also an active duty soldier. Does the same thing I was doing in the service. We actually met at work. I have a 15-year-old teenage boy. He's a football player, a very smart kid. And I have a dog named Berlin. Mr. Berlin is my emotional support dog, and he's great. I lived most of my adulthood in the service, 17 to 39 years old. I deployed during Operation Enduring Freedom to Afghanistan, Iraq twice during Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation New Dawn at the end of the Iraqi War. So my first deployment, I was younger. I was, I think, 22 years old, and it was the first war in Iraq, of course. And of course, my first experience that far from home, away from family, away from comfort. You didn't know how long you were gonna be there. You didn't know if you were gonna make it out of there. So I was in a place that was it was insecure. We will encounter situations in which sometimes I felt like I'm not coming home. This is it. And but it becomes almost like the normal thing you do every day. You're driving and on a convoy and you're watching for an explosion, an IED that you might encounter, or who are we gonna lose today? Who's not coming back with us? Is it me? Is it somebody else? So that first war was pretty rough for me. After my retirement, I was under the idea that I could bring myself back to a life I never had. And I knew I would have a transition period. I just didn't know that it was gonna be the way it was. I thought that my purpose was what I was doing already, and that now that I'm out, I don't have a purpose. How do I integrate myself? I will apply for jobs and they'll say I'm overqualified, because 20 years in the service give you an extensive resume. So it's hard to sometimes even place people. I became very disappointed with the fact that I couldn't find a job. I couldn't integrate. I felt like, again, out of place. Now I don't belong here. And I started to think that I don't belong here. I don't have a purpose. And that's when those feelings of, suicide began. So it became a little dangerous. Before I found comeback yoga, I felt out of place, isolated, not belonging. Of course, very anxious. A lot of trauma, you don't live in the present moment. You're somewhere in the past, or you're somewhere in the future where you think you should be. And yoga, or trauma-sensitive, trauma-informed yoga, reminds you that the place where I'm breathing right now is where I need to be. Joining comeback yoga from the beginning, even as a student, gave me a sense of belonging again. The thing that I was always reaching for. Everybody's a veteran or related to a veteran, and I feel like they understand me. Comeback yoga is important because veterans feel connected, and they feel a sense of belonging, and they feel like they're in a place of understanding and no judgment. So I'm back to a place where I belong. I am back to a place where I'm serving, and I'm provided with the tools necessary to do that. The recordings are available anytime, so you can always go in and and join, subscribe to their channel, and you'll get the little reminders. And I believe veterans at some point are going to come back to regular life, to civilian life. They're going to integrate. Veterans need comeback yoga to build their resiliency, to strengthen that resiliency, to have tools available to manage their trauma. And that's what comeback yoga dedicates their time and their efforts towards, to bring that sort of trauma-informed yoga to those who need it.